All right, so this week for Teacher Talk, I thought I would respond off of a YouTube video. See, one of the reasons why I like doing this YouTube stuff is I feel like it's a platform for me to just kind of show, number one, my students the stuff it takes to actually be a teacher. I've been doing this for about 13 years, and I got this impression through just working at my school that parents, even my administrators, honestly, my students, I don't think they realize the day-to-day grind and the workload that goes into being a teacher. You know, if you miss one parent email where you're like a day late in responding, you know, that could set off a chain reaction where that parent is going to then not think that you're a teacher that's on your game, and then they talk to people, which is normal because I'm a parent and I kind of do the same thing. We fall into that trap. And so one of the things about me doing this type of YouTube stuff is that I wanted to really put it out there as just to actually show the day-to-day grind of being a teacher. And so what I'm going to do this week, and I have my notes right here, is I want to make a response to a YouTube video that I saw today from a teacher in California who teaches at a middle school in California. And I literally am across the country. I teach at a middle school in New York. I'm an 8th grade individuals and societies teacher, which is social studies history class for IB, the MYP, the middle years program. And Smartiestyle, I will link the video in the description below. It's a super good, I think the teacher seems like she's a great teacher. She's very well spoken. She takes her job very seriously. I've been watching her stuff now for a few weeks. I really like her. And she posted this video, Smartiestyle, about how she's overstressed. I think that the title of the video was like, you know, first year teachers are no longer, they're going extinct, right? They're non-existent because the stress level that a first year teacher experiences is something that all year teacher experiences. You could be there 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, doesn't matter, that the stress of and the workload of being a teacher is just so much that in the old days, I guess the mentality was that if you were a teacher after your first or second or third year and you got tenure, that the stress would kind of ease up. And some of the things that Smartiestyle kind of talked about in her video, which kind of made me feel for her, right, was that she's overworked. She said that she has a teacher friend, like a partner that she works with that is a first year teacher, and that she feels the same stress load as that teacher, that she's super stressed. Literally in one point in the video, they talked about like physical signs from the stress, which is totally a real thing because I'm a veteran. I served in Iraq in 2004, 2005 with the Army. And I know that you can definitely have physical symptoms from mental stress. It's like a totally real thing. And then one of the themes I also thought is out, and she obviously loves her job. I'm not saying she doesn't, right? I'm not saying that you don't love your job, Smartiestyle. I just noticed that you definitely talked about at this current time not enjoying the job. You said, you know, takes time away from home, takes time away from family. And so this video is going to be just a response to that video because I think it's hard being a teacher. The learning curve is tremendous. So I don't think, I'm going to disagree with you on a couple things. I don't think first year teachers are extinct. I think the learning curve is tremendous because all the stress that you're feeling as a 15-year teacher is stress from the hustle. Like you're getting stressed from the hustle of parent contact, whatever your administrators are doing. I don't know your school. The lesson planning, the kids, the day-to-day interactions, the hustle of being a teacher. But you know it. You've been teaching for 15 years. You know, a new teacher has the hustle, and then they have all the stuff that they just don't know, the standard operating procedures of day-to-day being a teacher, you know, how to communicate with parents, how to communicate with kids, things like that. Another thing I want to point out is, and again, I'm not judging at all. I think I think what Smartiestyle did is awesome because I've felt like this before. One sec. What, Jay? I'm in the middle of a video.
Sorry, just don't mind me, okay?
Okay, but you're distracting me. All right, so is change your mindset. You know, I think you have to change your mindset. And that's not me judging you because there have been numerous times, almost every school year that I've taught for about 13 years, I have to change my mindset. And what I mean by changing your mindset is not like be more positive. It's like simplify what your focus is. You know, if you're trying to do 1,000 things at once, you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're not going to get sleep. You're going to constantly be thinking about work when you're supposed to be having family time and things like that. Your mental health is going to suffer. And simplify what you're trying to do. Like, you're a middle school teacher. I'm a middle school teacher. And one of the benefits of being a middle school teacher is that we can focus on the kid more than the content, in my opinion. I mean, content's still important, but the kid's number one. And change your mindset. Simplify your lessons. Simplify what you're doing in class. Simplify that stuff. You know, really get down to the fundamental focus as to what you love about teaching, and then double down on that. That's the situation. You know, you're not going to win against the stuff that's causing you the stress, which are the systems of the school, the society norms of parents' contact, and the way kids are today, procedures that your administration. You're never going to win. That's a giant tidal wave coming down on you. That, in my opinion, changing your mindset, refocusing, simplifying is the way to go, because the stress that you described in your video is real, and it will always be there. And you know it because you've been teaching for 15 years. You know it's always been there. It doesn't always have to be there. It will always be there, but it's what you choose to focus on that I think is the key as a teacher. Your mental health, huge. I go to the gym in the morning. Not every day. My wife wishes I went every day. I don't go every day. It's exhausting to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning just to go to the gym for an hour before I have to be at work at 7 a.m. But I do try to go 3 to 4, 5 days a week if I'm lucky. And I will say, when I go to the gym, my energy level feels better. My mental health is better. I'm more focused. I'm proud of myself, which then permeates into my classroom. And it's just a better thing. But that has nothing to do with teaching. That's just me taking care of myself. Go for long walks if you're not a gym person. You know, play a video game, watch a movie, take time and things like that. Smartiestyle said in her video is totally real. Like, all of it's real. I'm not here to tell you that like you shouldn't be focusing. But at the same time, like, everything she said, if you just change your mentality, I think is wonderful. And what I mean by that is I love the hustle of teaching. I love lesson planning. I love that stuff. I hate grading. I definitely do not like grading. And it takes a lot of time to grade, going through essays. You know, if I give 130 essays, I collect 130 essays, it could take me 4 hours just to get through that. I realize that is a major stress, but I choose to focus on the stuff I love. I try to simplify the stuff I don't like. So I try to get kids to peer, grading. I have them do like self-evaluation through rubrics. And then it limits what I actually have to do because I don't like that part. And frankly, as a teacher, my philosophy is I don't necessarily think grading is the most important thing. Giving feedback is super important, but that doesn't mean grades all the time. You can give feedback in other ways. I give feedback through Google Classroom. I communicate, things like that. So enjoy the hustle. Like, lesson planning is fun. I've been doing one video a week on my channel where I'm trying to get into showing lesson plans or activities and just breaking it down. I think it's super important. And I think, you need to focus on that stuff. Being a teacher is hard, but it's awesome. It is the best job in the world. But I love the hustle. I love the day-to-day grind of it. I get excited sitting in teacher meetings. I hear my teacher colleagues sometimes moan, like, another meeting. I'm excited. I want to talk about being a teacher. I want to analyze my lessons. I want to figure out ways I could do better. I want to go through activities, new ways. I don't even have a plan book. Like, some teachers have the lessons they taught every year for the last decade. I've been teaching for 13 years. I literally rewrite my lessons every year because I enjoy lesson planning so much. And sometimes I've lost good lessons doing that because I move on to the same topic, but I'll change the lesson and it won't be as good. But then I've also found so many great lessons. But again, enjoy the hustle. It's like being a professional athlete and you don't like to work out. Like, to be a professional athlete, you have to love to work out, because the day-to-day grind of being an athlete is the gym and working out. It's not necessarily the sport. The day-to-day grind of being a teacher is the lesson planning, the contact, set up Remind apps, set up a Google Classroom, set up avenues to communicate with parents to make your life easier so you're not sitting there on the phone calling 10 parents a day, because that can be stressful. You have other things to do. If you're like me, you run clubs. I run a media club, a youth and government club. I'm a varsity lacrosse coach. So I get that. I get the grind of it, but it's the best job. Take a breath, have a glass of wine. Simplify, refocus yourself, because you seem like you're a great teacher, Smartiestyle, and I think you're allowing the system to kind of overwhelm you a little bit. It's not the kids, because the kids are always the kids, you know, that's the kids. And I remember for the last like couple of years, I've been hearing people and myself have been like, oh, these kids are this year's very chatty, this year's very chatty. And I think I'm at the conclusion that I don't think kids, my grade this year is chatty. I think this is the new kid. I think the new style student in the United States in 2019 is a chatty student. They talk a lot more than we did. They feel a lot more comfortable in the classroom than we did, which is a good thing, right? Obviously means that they're comfortable in their learning environment. Where I remember like fearing my teacher, these kids don't fear their teacher, which is a good thing. It's just, it creates a different atmosphere. And, you know, keep your head up. I think you're awesome. And that's my response to your video. So there you go. You see them sneaking in the background? This is what I have to deal with when I'm home filming YouTube videos. I have to deal with a goofy son who does everything he can to just get in the video. So he made it in the video. I'm sure he's proud of himself. All right. Bye.